Hey everyone, Stephanie here. So first of all, this video is about a week late from my appointment, so I'm sorry about that. I'm not always the best at getting videos done immediately when I know I need to, but I'm here now and I'm ready to update you on my 20-week ultrasound. So I actually had it about 19 weeks, 4 days. And if you've been following my previous ultrasounds in this pregnancy, you will know that at 12 weeks I was diagnosed with placenta accreta, which I did have in a previous pregnancy when we lost our daughter Bria. And so I was diagnosed early with placenta accreta. There were tons of symptoms, and they had me come back at 15 weeks for a follow-up at the high-risk clinic, which is about 3 hours from where I live. And I went back at 15 weeks. I'll post that video link up here for you if you haven't seen it. But they confirmed that I did have accreta. There was lots of signs: placenta leaks, irregular blood flow, just all the things that they normally would see with accreta. And then also complete placenta previa, which in a normal pregnancy often will move, especially when it's diagnosed that early. It will often move, but they basically told me that when you have accreta, it's very unlikely that it would move, so kind of not to expect that it would. So from 15 to almost 20 weeks, I did a lot of stressing. I had a lot of anxiety, a lot of Googling and talking to people on my forums. And then we also started thinking about maybe hiring a nanny because there was a chance that I was going to have to relocate to Calgary, and I'm not sure if Beckett would have been able to come or not, or if I would have had a bleed. I would have ended up in the hospital early. I could have been for many months. So I was kind of getting prepared for all of that. And then I had I'll call it my 20-week scan, even though it was a little earlier. So when we went into this, what I was hoping for was just to not see a huge progression and to see no bladder invasion with the placenta accreta, because sometimes you can already start to see it turning into percreta, which is where it invades the bladder or other organs in your body. And so my biggest goal going into this ultrasound, number one, was to find out baby's gender and make sure that the baby was healthy. And number two was to see how was the accreta progressing. Was I going to have to be there sooner? You know, how early was the baby going to have to be delivered? And all of the things I'd been stressing about. So when we went for the ultrasound, first and foremost, the baby is measuring great. It's a little, like a few days behind on everything, but it consistently has been through the whole pregnancy. So just a little smaller than Beckett, I guess, which isn't a bad thing because Beckett was 9'1" when he was born. So I wouldn't mind a little bit smaller this time. But otherwise, everything looked great. The heart, the lungs, the measurements, the legs and arms. So everything measured well. The baby wasn't cooperating too well. So it took about an hour and a half to get the full ultrasound done because the tech couldn't get one of the heart measurements. And since we came from 3 hours away, we couldn't just come back in a few days. So that's that. And I guess I can tell you gender since I did already post the gender reveal video from Beckett. So if you don't want to hear and you want to watch Beckett opening a gift with an outfit inside, then just skip this part. But we did find out that the baby is a girl. So we are having a little girl. There she is. That's the picture we got. And we're super excited. I mean, I would have been really just as happy with a boy and having Beckett have a brother. But I think since this is our last, it's awesome to have a girl. We can experience, you know, I can be both a boy mom and a girl mom. And now I get to buy all the bows and the dresses and all that. So it definitely would be cheaper to have a boy. But I'm super excited. Dave's excited. Beckett is excited as far as we know, as much as he can understand. He understands, but I don't know how much they really, truly understand at this age. But yeah, so baby is a girl, measuring really everything's on track. And so the rest of the ultrasound was actually very confusing and very shocking and really surprising. So the placenta actually completely moved, which they basically said wasn't going to happen. So at my 15-week scan, the placenta was covering my entire cervix over by quite a bit and over my entire C-section scar. And they had said that it had attached to my C-section scar and that was the area where the accreta was. So if that were true, the placenta would not have been able to move the way it did. So what happened is the placenta is actually now nowhere near the cervix or my scar. It moved so far that they now don't even know. So not only has my complete placenta previa cleared, but they don't really think that there's even accreta anymore, which after so many weeks, like I said, of weeks and months of so much stress and anxiety over what we're gonna do, if I have to go early, childcare for Beckett and all of those things, it was kind of like, well, what do you mean? So just a fact with placenta previa, like I said, it's quite common, especially in early pregnancy, and it very often moves by the time someone was to deliver. So previa does move, and that is common, but not so common with accreta. And then the risk with previa is really more in your pregnancy, the risk of bleeding during pregnancy. So that was what had really been worrying me up till then. And then with accreta can't go away. So if you have accreta, it can't get better. It can only get worse. So that's where I'm super confused is, like we had really high-end specialist doctors that specialize in placenta issues at both the 12 and 15-week scan who said that I had accreta. They were, there was no question. They were quite sure by what they were seeing. There was tons of signs of it. And then this time now we didn't see the same doctor, and it was a different high-risk doctor as well. And this lady that came in, she just looked at it and she's like, oh, everything looks fine. You can probably just deliver back, where you live, and we don't need to send you to meet with the NICU. We don't need to send you for an MRI anymore. We don't need to send you to start meeting with the abnormal placenta, whatever, delivery team that was going to be delivering. We were going to start meeting with them and planning for delivery. And now all of a sudden she basically just kind of wrote us off and said, oh, everything looks like it cleared, but she didn't really have an explanation as to how that can even happen because, like I said, accreta cannot go away. So another thing to understand about accreta is that they can only actually diagnose it in 2 out of 3 cases on ultrasound. So what that means is they can't always see it just from ultrasound, but that is the best way for them to see it. So they really don't know that you have it until delivery. So that really worries me. I'm super happy, especially that the previa cleared and I don't have to worry so much about bleeding right now. But I'm also not really sure what to think as far as the accreta goes because I know it doesn't go away. And so I'm really curious, what were they seeing before that they were so sure that I did have it that could just go away? And how does that even happen? Because it obviously wasn't really accreta, or is it still there and they just couldn't see it this time on this ultrasound? So she said I don't have to go back for 9 weeks, so until I'm 28 weeks pregnant, which is the very end of January. So that seems like forever, but I will say I'm stressing much less in the meantime, because even if I do have accreta, that risk will come more at delivery. So the closer we get to that, the more I can start stressing about that. But for now, I'm trying to just, be grateful that the previa is gone and, that things do look better. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix this here. So yeah, that is my update. I don't know if you are watching this and you've ever had something like this happen. I'd love to hear your story. Comment below, let me know, because it's not common to be diagnosed with Accreta and then for them to think that maybe they were wrong. So my biggest worry is now they're not going to treat it as serious. They're just saying, oh, go deliver wherever, and then I'll end up having it. And that's when it becomes even more life-threatening, when you're not prepared for it. So we need to talk to them again at 28 weeks, see how things look, if it still looks like things are good or not. And then we still may choose to go to Calgary for delivery, just so I feel better about it, or so we feel better about it. I feel more like if something were to go wrong, at least I'd be in the right place, or close to the people that could help. So I'm thinking that's what we'll do, but I don't really know. So I will keep you updated for sure, but it really is like really surprising and confusing. Like I said, hard to wrap our head around when we spend so long worrying and trying to plan without really knowing what's going on. And then all of a sudden it's just, oh, now you don't have to worry. The other good thing is all my restrictions were lifted. I'm not on pelvic rest anymore, and I am not on exercise restrictions or lifting restrictions, so I can freely lift Beckett without having to worry so much when he wants me to lift him. I'm back to working out. I'm still taking it easy and modifying and all of that, but it's been great to get back at it, because it was going to be a long time to go without being able to really do anything. So that is my update. Like I said, sorry it was a little bit late, but that is what I know for now. And if you missed it, we are having a baby girl. Due date is April 19th. So when I thought I had Previa and Accreta, she definitely would have been coming by mid-March at the latest, but now it'll probably just be a repeat C-section. I'm assuming around 2 weeks early, so probably around 38 weeks, beginning of April, most likely. So we'll also hopefully be able to avoid a long NICU stay and all of that. That may have happened if, you know, things had continued the way they were. So yeah, let's just hope things still look good, but that they still want to be cautious at delivery, and not just kind of write me off, because like I said, Accreta does not, it's not an easy thing to diagnose one way or another. So they'll never say you 100% have it or you 100% don't. But they should still, in my opinion, especially after they thought they saw it for so long, to me, they should still deliver me and treat it as though I do have it. And if I don't, perfect, great. Like now it looks like I probably won't need a hysterectomy either. But I guess we'll see. Time will tell, but for now, baby is measuring perfectly. She has no name. I am really struggling with girl names. Dave and I have talked a little bit about it, but we like very different names. So we'll see what happens, but she definitely doesn't have a name, but we're not going to share her name anyways until after she's born, just because it's already hard enough for us to agree on a name. And I know that I would take people's opinions to heart, and then I would second guess everything. So that's why we don't share the name until the baby is born. But here we are, over halfway there. I am 21 weeks in a couple of days, and baby will be born no later than probably 38 or 38 and a half weeks. So over halfway. It's going pretty fast. And like I said, I will update you again soon. Probably my next appointment's not until the end of January, but I'll probably do one more update in between sometime, just to touch base with you all. So thanks so much for following. Make sure to click the subscribe button or the little bell to turn on notifications for my videos, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.